Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, live from the Atzenhofer studio. We're glad you're all here. Glad if you're joining us on Magic, the Mothership. Thank you for your loyal listenership and everybody on the No Bull Network and Facebook and YouTube. Just glad you're with us.
You know, it's a great story. It's been around a long time, but almost 10 years ago, we went to Magic with a developing idea, a concept that had kind of flared a little bit, but had struggled a little bit. It's an amazing political story. It's amazing some of the logistics, some of the things we had to overcome. And Lilo Arguelles.
It'll never last.
No, it'll never last. It's not good radio. It's not good radio, said the bonehead that owns 51% of KVIC. So we, 10 years ago now, with the most popular program in the region, went to Magic, and Lilo said, I'll rent you that hour. And immediately, Magic listeners started calling in and going, what are they doing on our station? And over time, I think it's fair to say that our most loyal and faithful listeners are on Magic 95.9. It's how I state emphatically that our Latino population, our Hispanic, our folks of Mexican descent in our community are overwhelmingly shifting towards a more conservative viewpoint, not because deep in their hearts they're not quote unquote Democrats, but because the Democrat Party has left them.
Yep.
And it is, I hear it over and over and over again from folks that work at Atzenhofer, from folks that work at Ramirez Transmission, that just, hey, what you guys say resonates with us because we work for a living. And we could not be more proud of our association with Magic 95.9. They have been good to us. Like Bissabald, they've been very, very good to me. 75 degrees under cloudy skies in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high today of 85. The forecast shows that every day until next Tuesday, there's a chance of rain. You see that? There's those blue. Now today,
we'll see what happens.
11 to 1 and about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But just expect, I'm going to call it spotty showers throughout
maybe
the
a little
day.
thunder in the region.
Yeah.
But
so give your dogs an extra treat and be careful on the streets.
I had to give mine some meds.
Your dogs are drug addicts. They're hooked.
They are now.
Be aware that the roads are slick when they're wet. And I find them to have better grip when it's pouring rain than when it's just misting. Yeah. If you need them, call Allen's Wrecker Service. That's 578-6300. We say that so often, and they say if you say it 3 times, people resonate. You should all know by now. 578-6300.
Shouldn't even need to put it in your phone. It's in your
should
memory.
Already be there. Yeah.
Stephanie Conning, Daniel Wade White, Scott Tomko on the podium this morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's see who else is checking in.
Daniel Wade White, colloquially known as Danny White.
Bobby Leister, Christy Thurman, Funky Trey Molina.
Number 11 in your program, number 1 in your heart.
Jordan Glass, Heather Stewart, Trey Garcia.
If the Danny White from Arizona State, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, had been as big a man as the Danny White that we both know, he might still be playing. I remember on
a pretty good job on radio.
Multiple occasions, I've been in the vicinity of and the acquaintance of Dan Pastorini. Dan Pastorini is a guy that you would just not approach in a bar. He is a huge individual. And yet I can remember him. It just lets you know what a great athlete he was. Now, you don't remember Danny White, but he punted and played quarterback, number 7. Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you, this 11. Guy spent half his life running for his life. And at the end of the day, Dan Pastorini is a giant dude. And yet you realize it's the same thing with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's wrists are about this big. And yet you remember him just getting just killed by people like Reggie White.
Wow, those first few years for the Cowboys were tough.
Oh, man.
For him. I'm surprised he doesn't have CTE.
Well, that's one reason he got out of the league is I think he had like 8 confirmed concussions. Did Pastorini say anything besides good morning?
No, I think that's all he said. Good morning. If Pastorini would have taken football half as seriously as he took drag racing and auto racing,
he might be a Hall of
Famer.
He had a tremendous arm. He was a great player. Odele, let's go, says Andrew Alvarez. Good morning, brother.
Ralph Salazar, good morning. Monty Howard, BJ Nelson, Linda, Chris.
That'd be Ralph Salazar, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, the Hall of Famer. John Anderson. I think we got everybody. Sherry Jacobs, Marvin Mickish, Rena Scherer, good morning. Crystal Mapp. The Commander's in. Mark
Lisa
Kurtz,
Pooh.
Rika King. We're good. Good morning, everybody. So what do you make of Bill Pulte? For those of you who might have some insight, weigh in. Give us a call, 361-894-4020. This one reeks of political patronage, doesn't it?
I mean, I guess it could. Pulte being like the second or third generation of the Pulte homes, Pulte. He's been the director of the division of the government that monitors mortgages, mortgage banking. But he's famous for, or infamous for, being the guy that went after like Letitia James and others regarding mortgage fraud. You remember when Letitia James, she got a low interest loan because she was, a black female, yada, yada, yada. But you had to make that home your primary residence, and she clearly didn't, which is a direct violation. It is providing false information to get a cheaper mortgage. It is a felony. But the fact that this guy went after her signaled to lots of people that Donald Trump was weaponizing divisions of the government to go after his political enemies. And two things can be true at once. She did commit mortgage fraud. In the big Doge picture, it's such a minuscule thing that it reeks that she was personally targeted by the Donald.
Yeah.
So it's no different than Barack Obama.
He was personally targeted by Letitia.
True story. So he's showing, if you're going to hit me with a stick, I'm going to hit you with a bat. But at the end of the day, this guy was a loyal lapdog, if you will, for the president. Now, a guy with admittedly and observably zero experience in the spy game is now the chief of the Department of National Intelligence.
Yeah,
being vacated by, he's the acting director. I think he's a placeholder. He's somebody that the president believes he can trust.
Saw a report this morning. He's a guy that may declassify a lot of stuff because he doesn't know anything. And so that might be why he's put in that place.
He can be the bad guy, if you will, declassify a bunch of stuff, and then they'll put a new director in there. Tulsi Gabbard, of course, declassified a number of like the JFK files. That was one of the things she did as the director of national intelligence. She's, of course, leaving her position voluntarily because her husband has cancer, I believe.
Yeah. And there's, and think about it. George H.W. Bush
one of the
was
biggest
director of
criminals
CIA
of all time.
and had no spy experience. I mean, you don't need it. But I don't know how being the chair of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac
leads you to. By the way, you said he was the self-appointed chair.
He was named director of Federal Housing and Finance Agency, and then appointed himself as the chair of those two mortgage agencies.
Seems
so
what do you call that? Ingratiating. Yeah. It's like inviting yourself to someone's party.
He just throws his own party.
Very
and invites himself. But
we'll see what happens. You know, I mean, I can't state emphatically that he's a bad guy. You know,
no, I can't either. apparently a very philanthropic guy. Graduated from college at Northwestern and then immediately started a venture capital firm. So you wonder where he got that money, Grandpa.
Worth mentioning, critics have raised concerns about Pulte's lack of experience in national security. As acting director, he can serve for up to 210 days without Senate confirmation. So for the next 7 months until the end of the year, he can be the acting director without having to go through the Senate hearings where they say to him, but you have no experience. It is interesting to me that people don't perceive the hypocrisy in that. There are lots of people. I mean, there are lots of people who Kamala Harris was vice president, I'm just saying. It's interesting to me with no diplomatic experience whatsoever, no real qualifications at all. I mean, she had served in some government offices. She had been in the Senate, I guess, right? She was a senator, or was she in the House? She was a senator.
Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State.
Yeah,
she had no relevant experience, if you think about it.
I mean, just because you, in theory, slept with the commander-in-chief doesn't make you ready for that.
Director of National Intelligence created after September 11th. So fairly new position.
Yeah.
And was designed or created to coordinate or to improve coordination across the intelligence community. So CIA, DHS, I guess, FBI intelligence, NSA. So, I mean,
do you think that,
will he have exposure to highly classified information? Maybe.
Does Kash Patel, has he justified his existence as FBI chief? I mean, I think he's done a good job.
I think he's done all right.
I don't know anything about his law enforcement background, if it even exists.
Yeah, I think he wasn't Attorney General in Florida.
Okay.
I think so.
Good morning, Mom.
Oh, no,
There's my mom.
That was
checking
Bondi.
in.
Patel's an attorney, though.
Yeah, he's kind of got crazy eyes.
Apparently likes to imbibe a little bit.
It's funny to me, and I find it interesting that somebody said, yeah, his main qualification is that he can chug a beer in 5 seconds or less. I mean, I'm not saying
it takes to get into some law schools.
Well, I was going to say, it's not like he went to the Brett Kavanaugh School of Public Relations, but it's not like, we don't want our leadership to be drunk in a bar, but there's been no logic that he's done anything inappropriate while on the job.
Not really, no.
I don't get it. It's the TDS that is so real. We got to find a way. Got to find a way to hammer this guy. Boy, the hits just keep on. It's not on your screen, but the hits just keep coming on this Graham Plattner guy. Apparently now the latest is so that what it tells me is the Democrat machine is tired of him. He's got to go. The latest is that, well, he didn't just text people inappropriate things. He now kind of went a little too far. John Fetterman calls Plattner a creep. After reports of Fetterman, of course, saying that Plattner should have had a burner phone as opposed to using his main phone.
A lot of Democrats, though, say they're still going to vote for him, despite the sexting controversy.
Which is interesting. The hypocrisy of the left never ends. They're running James Tallarico because we need a Christian in office, but then you've got a serial philanderer in theory.
Well, that's the funny thing. I mean, they worry about, they complain about Donald Trump's faux pas, his lack of morals and ethics, and then you're running out a candidate who may not have been truthful about his entire past, some of his jobs, harbor master being one of them.
Right.
He has a Nazi tattoo, and he won't deny why he has it. And the party won't denounce
No, that's right.
that they're running a white supremacist in Maine.
Because he's their white supremacist. I heard Chuck Schumer say yesterday when asked point blank, what do you make of the candidacy of Graham Plattner? And he said, well, that's going to be for the folks of Maine to decide. He said, I've got some questions, but I'm going to reserve judgment until I have the full scope. And yet if he hears anything, he rushes to a microphone to condemn Donald Trump.
I mean, listen to this. He went to Washington, D.C. yesterday to meet with a bunch of Democratic senators. And when they left the meeting, all of them were confident that they were going to win Maine and he was their guy. They don't care about the morals and the ethics.
Bernie Sanders is like this with him.
Yeah.
Like, that's my guy.
May 24th.
Because they're fighting oligarchy together.
They only care about the morals and ethics of Donald Trump and Republicans.
Here's what Bernie said. All I can tell you is that the wealthiest people in this country have now reserved close to $100 million in TV ads in a small state like Maine. So what are the billionaires worried about? Why are they spending so much money trying to defeat this guy?
The fact that every Senate race seems to be $100 million campaign is just ridiculous.
It does blow my mind, though, like somebody that I don't know anything good or bad about, Bezos, Amazon guy, started out selling books out of a garage, added staff, added warehouses, has been continually on the leading edge of innovation in the retail space for 2 decades. Employs countless tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of folks all over the planet. And people begrudge him his personal wealth. Now you might, well, it's disproportionate. I mean, a guy working for him makes $50,000 and he makes that every second in interest on his billions.
Good for him.
Okay. Jealousy is a sin. I mean, you should have thought of Amazon. You didn't. Let it go. He ought to be taxed 100% of his income for the next 5 years. And you know what? He'd still be worth $300 billion. Okay.
So
it's craziness.
Yeah.
He didn't create that. We created that. But he feeds hundreds of thousands of people through his model. Don't begrudge him wealth. I don't get it. I've never looked at people. The problem that I have with some people is just personal. You've heard it said he was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple. To me, that refers to the guy who doesn't appreciate the leg up he was born into. Right? Some people are just in the lucky club, born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And you can look at those people and say, sometimes I look at him and go, well, yeah, he was born wealthy, but he didn't mess it up. He continued the wealth. We've all seen businesses that were started by grandpa, taken to the next level by dad, and then destroyed by the son in less than one generation. The entitlement creeps in. People like Bezos and even Bill Gates, to a degree, that continue to try to innovate. You can't hate those people, and you need them among you. I'm certainly no Bill Gates fan. I think Bill Gates is way out of his level. For Bill Gates, who literally tomorrow could make Jerry Jones an offer he simply couldn't refuse. Bill Gates could own the Dallas Cowboys and never affect how much cheese he puts on his burger. We estimate the Cowboys to be worth around
$10 billion,
$10 or $12 billion. Bill Gates could walk in tomorrow and go, one-time offer, today only. I'll give you $30 billion for the Dallas Cowboys.
But he doesn't do that. He's too busy trying to figure out vaccines.
And here's the deal. If he walked in tomorrow, and although his meddling couldn't be any more detrimental than Jerry Jones' own meddling, it would be as if Bill Gates bought the Cowboys for $50 billion, an offer that Jerry Jones could not refuse. He would take $50 billion and leave. I hope. Bill Gates would then insert himself as director of player personnel and manage the draft. And we would go, what an idiot. Because in one generation, he'd run the Cowboys even further into the dirt. It's the same way he's doing now with medicine. It's what he's doing now with like world population control.
I think people are starting to see it now.
Yeah. Andrew Alvarez, a solid point. I'd rather have Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates here than in China or India.
Well, they're there too. Don't. Well, Bezos maybe not, but Bill Gates certainly is, at least in India and certainly all through Africa. Greg Garcia.
Can you imagine if he said, next year I'm taking Microsoft to Beijing. We're going to be based in Beijing and Shanghai. My top management is going with me. The country would be in a tizzy.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, all of you other people that work for Microsoft here, you're laid off, effective immediately. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying something.
I don't remember what I was going to say, but just read Greg Garcia. Says people that are jealous of entrepreneurs are the ones that constantly make excuses as to why they don't get ahead in life. They're their own worst enemy. Rob Jr. says he's never got a job from a poor person.
That's right. Michelle Wilson-Hawkins says Gates is just pure evil. I don't think he started out that way, right? Like, I think he started out, but it's a Democrat position. He cares so much that he has to pour himself into these benevolent situations.
I know some people that used to work with him who were pretty high up at Microsoft, and they say he's just an idiot. He's just a mean guy.
Yeah. Well, he's a dweezil.
He's not a good person.
Harvard guy. Isn't he a Harvard guy?
No, I don't. I think he dropped out, didn't he? I don't know. I don't know enough of his story that way, but he's just not a good person from what people I know who worked for him.
Who do you think was more likely?
People are now retired.
Yeah, millionaires.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more likely to be the Epstein Island pedophile, Bill Gates or Donald Trump?
Bill Gates.
I agree 100%. BJ Nelson says people don't know the weight entrepreneurs live with every day. You know, you see these people all, and you know them in your daily life that fantasize about owning their own business. They see that, and I'm making these numbers up, but let's say that they are they're a plumber. They're a plumber, and they work for a master plumber, but they're educated, and they've got they've got it all together. And they see that when they go out, it's a minimum $150 service fee, and we bill the plumber at $100 an hour. If he's there 2 hours, it's going to cost you $200 in labor and $150 for the fee, $350 for him to be there 2 hours. And the guy knows, the plumber knows he's making $25 an hour. And he goes, man, I was there for 3 hours, it cost $75, and my boss made the other $275. I need to start my own business. So they do. And the ones that really work hard, they make it. But out of that $275 that we look at as gross profit, the owner's got to pay payroll taxes, gasoline, truck payment, insurance, which everybody knows is expensive.
Tools and equipment on that truck.
That's right. Oh, and somehow in there pay for his office, and somehow maybe eke out a little profit for himself.
All the utilities, the rent for the office or the mortgage on the building. Yeah, people forget all that.
This is a solid question. I'm going to leave it anonymous for the moment. Doesn't that meddling you just described make you even more concerned about who controls the AI engines that are being created, implemented, and coded? If we become more reliant on AI for a solution provider, who controls the AI algorithms that create solutions? He who does has now even more control and influence. People are going to say, and you're going to start, remember when the joke used to be, I saw it on Wikipedia, realizing that anybody can edit Wikipedia. Anybody can put anything on the internet and it can become part of a searchable solution to an AI question. Who is Ash Wade? And the next thing you know, somebody goes, Ash Wade, blah, blah, blah. And AI says, he's a reputed pedophile. And you're like, what? Where did that come from? California says, your decisions can impact the livelihood of a couple hundred employees' livelihoods. It's important work. It's not for the faint of heart. Entrepreneurship, that is. It's an honor, though. Callie Fromme knows. She has run several small businesses here in the region. Linda says, Rob had his own business for 20 years, and that phone never stops ringing. Even on holiday weekends in the middle of the night, the phone is constantly ringing. And the problem is what drives an entrepreneur is the realization that if you don't answer that phone, somebody else will.
Yeah.
And I mean, I live with that, a very blessed and highly qualified commercial insurance agent. People call me at all times of the day or night. They don't call me to tell me what a great job I do. They don't call me to thank them for only having a 10% rate increase.
I had an employee wreck a truck
in the middle of the night. Yeah, can you meet me there? Yeah, and that's my job. So I have to make a Bloody Mary, 3 a.m. and go. But I mean, it happens, and I think sometimes that as entrepreneurs, if we will, we are remiss to not toot your own horn. There's a fine line, right? People pay you to do something. You don't get a cookie for doing it. But I do think it's important to point out.
But you want them to go to Yelp or Google reviews.
This is why I do it, because you need me
on that wall.
You want me on that wall. I'm going back to Gitmo. You're not going anywhere.
I'm going to stay right here while we go to break.
Sit back down, you smug son of USA Foundation Repair inviting you to quit fighting doors that won't close. Don't you hate having to lift up on that doorknob and hip it closed and then you just lock it because you're tired of listening to it? They can come out and shim up your pier and beam home, which no doubt is probably shifting and sinking amidst all this rain. 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia will come out and solve your problems. What's today?
Well, today is Wacky Wing Wednesday, the chopping block.
It's also
Caldo Wednesday.
Absolutely. You have options. You can go to Caldo Wednesday at Veracruz today and enjoy fresh guacamole, creamy queso.
Yep. Simply the best caldo ever. Go in, enjoy a steaming hot bowl of caldo today because you can't get it any other day of the week.
And then go by the chopping block and pick up the marinated or pre-marinated wings, as Ash calls them.
One time.
Yeah. Wacky Wing
Never
Wednesday.
Forgets it.
You know what? It's like you just do it once and you're always Get a hold of the chopping block for the wings. I like them in the air fryer.
I do too.
They look good. They taste good.
They taste really good.
I'll have them.
Yep.
Wacky Wing Wednesday.
And they've also got pork on sale at the chopping block this week. Pork steaks just $3.99 a pound. Can't beat a pork steak.
Puerco.
Country style ribs, burn ends. They got it all.
Really. They do. Chopping block always. You've got your staples. You got your New York strips. They've got some Wagyu beef. They always have flank steak. They always have ribeyes, fillets. But then they'll have always some, stuffed quail, something exotic you can put on the pit. And the great thing is, John Turner is a championship winning barbecue.
Yeah.
He's a cook-off mainstay. So if you go in there and say, what would you do with this? His general answer is put it on the pit on 250 and cook it till it's done. But he'll tell you exactly, cook these for about 20 minutes at 300, and then let's wrap them and put he has a seasoning. Quite often, I'm talking out of school, but quite often he'll pull a seasoning off the shelf and give it to you. Try that. I want your opinion. I want you to tell me how it was. This is really good on chicken. Take one with you. They've got a whole center rack full of different spices.
His SPJ is good.
It's really good. I highly recommend.
The Bernie's butt rub is really good on pork.
Right. It's a bad visual, but I'm with you on it. So get in there to the chopping block.
And the barbacoa boudin is back.
First State Bank of Louise, Astros update.
Oh, do we have to?
What happened? They lose
Astros
yesterday?
lose, yeah, Pirates 10-6.
10-6. It was a softball game?
It was.
Wow.
Mariners won their 8th in a row. They're starting to slide, folks. 2 weeks ago, we thought, well, they're only 3 back or 5 back. And going into last weekend, they were 3 back, thinking, well, in that crappy division, the Mariners are starting to
heat it up
and be the Mariners that were the Mariners of last year, not the Mariners that started this year.
I can't remember the name of their center fielder, but he's quite a player for the Mariners. John Anderson says Wade and Carter are entrepreneurs. We certainly took a chance. The difference is when entrepreneurs take a chance and it goes well, they get rich. We ain't getting rich.
No.
This is like a hobby that created an obligation. I feel like we have to be here. I'm proud to do it. Love doing it. I get excited every morning to come do the program.
Me too.
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah, Astros now 6 back. They're struggling.
You like it a lot?
I like it a lot. Rangers win. They're close. They're close. They're keeping it close. That might be our only hope in Texas for.
But Scott, baseball. You would admit, you're very much a realist about your sports, and I respect the fact that you've never wavered as a Rangers fan. You can just get the feel. You just know. Sadly, I do too for the Astros. It's just not a championship year. Now, Dawn would beg to differ. Dawn would say, well, we're going to get Hunter Brown back, and when we do, you'll have Brown, Arrighetti, maybe McCullers can come back and be productive, which he was productive till he got hurt. Yada, yada, yada. Boy, we're fixing to have Josh Hader back.
Good.
Okay.
You got to have a lead to need a closer.
Right. But, in a losing effort, the Astros still score 6 runs. That's enough to win most games if the pitching's not terrible.
The problem hasn't really been they haven't blown a lot of leads late. They just blown a lot of games early.
It seems like it's the Dallas Keuchel effect. They seem to give up a couple of runs every first inning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll tell you, and it may be unfair, as often sports fandom is unfair. When you are a slow starting team, even amongst professional athletes, I believe it's a coaching problem. They're not ready to play.
Yeah, and I'll give an example. Hockey half minute. Anybody who watched the first period of the first game 1 of Stanley Cup Finals last night, which is probably me and Scott Tomko. Vegas fell behind in the first 25 seconds. Florida takes the puck down, scores on their first shot. They're up 1-0. They get ahead 2-0. Vegas comes back, wins the first game 5-4. Entertaining game, really good game. Vegas looks slow. There's a term we have for it. It looked like they were snowshoeing out there rather than skating. But they seemed to find their legs, and they got into the dirty areas of the ice, and they worked harder than Florida and got some gritty goals. And but a fun game to watch. And game 2 tomorrow night in Carolina. Interesting fact: Rod Brindamore trying to become just the 3rd person ever in the history of the NHL to captain a Stanley Cup winning team and then win it as a head coach.
That's awesome. Something I'm not proud of, sent in by Lilo. The Houston Astros will host Pride Night on Wednesday, June 3rd. That's tonight, as they take on the Pittsburgh Pirates at Dyken Park. Festivities include pre-game ceremonies recognizing the LGBTQ plus community, a happy hour, and a limited edition Pride Night baseball, it says basketball jersey, available with a special ticket add-on. I do not support that. It's got nothing to do with being anti-pride. It's to do with anti-special interest group being politicized at a sporting event. Many of us go to sports as a form of escape. I don't want to be there with folks blatantly just saying we're here, we're queer, and we're drinking $13 beer. I don't want to be there. I would strongly recommend other folks just abstain from going tonight. Let those folks have it. Would it be Small say? Because Mark Kurt said he's right.
The Rangers won't be
a championship team. They're just not. And it's not. And Mark Kurtz, also a longtime Dallas resident, certainly follows if he's not a Rangers fan. They just don't have it. I can't understand why the Rangers haven't traded Mr. DeGrom. They're holding him back. I don't understand why they haven't traded him for something. And they're paying the guy $33.5 million. By the way, he's worth more to a contender. He's probably worth 40 to a contender.
Yeah, I don't know why they're still holding on to him. Well, because they're in a bad division,
thinking they got a chance to make the playoffs.
They're only 2 games back. And if you make the playoffs as an owner, you make a bunch of money.
Oh, and Big Small, thank you for that. He says the Rangers won't be hosting Queer Night. That's what he said. They won't be having Pride Night.
Most of the NHL teams backed it off. In fact, they got rid of recognizing almost every special interest group before games, which I think is the way to go. The NFL has really walked back all their end zone slogans and everything else, right?
Because it was not popular with 95% of their support base. Yeah. Absolutely. It's much like Donald Trump backing off his anti-weaponization.
Fund.
He's like, hey, okay, everybody's upset about it. I won't do it. Good for him. He's not trying to be popular. He's trying to do what's best for the country.
Yeah. Spurs and Knicks, game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight.
Spurs should win it in 5. I think they'll win it in 7. The NBA, more than any other sport except boxing and maybe old school horse racing. The NBA, a slave to revenue. The NBA, I believe that systemically, the NBA rigs games. I do. I think the officials are told, keep this game close. Nope, you charged. Nope, there's a walk. You'll hear these crazy calls that are never made in the NBA Finals. You concur?
They're not made all regular season.
That's right. No, he walked.
And they're not. Well, I watched the final 5 minutes of a game if it's close.
It takes 30
There'll be
minutes.
more fouls and infractions called than through the first 3 quarters, 3 periods of the game.
But see, I'm a fan hypocrite because in the same breath that I tell you, given a situation, if I just showed you a snippet of video, and I know you well enough to say this about you, I show you a snippet of a basketball game, and I say, is that traveling? And you go, yes. To you, it doesn't matter. If it's traveling on the last play of the game to make the last second layup, no, he still walked. I'm sorry they lost the game, but he walked. Some officials call it one way early in the game and call it different down the stretch. That, to me, is for lack of the right phrase, like a bastardization of the rules of the game. That's not the way you do it.
And I think it happens in the NFL. I think it happens in the NHL. I think it happens in Major League Baseball.
And here's my connection to baseball. I support the exact opposite position in baseball. In baseball, there's 3 balls, 2 strikes. The bases are loaded, and the game is tied. If this guy walks, it's game over. So a pitch comes in, and this is why I don't necessarily love the ABS box. A pitch comes in, and you and I have said it together on my sofa. That's too close to take. That's too close to take. There are strikes in baseball that are situational, where an umpire will go, no, yep, you're out. You should have swung at that one. And it technically may be outside. Nowadays, a guy taps his hat. The umpire's overruled. The winning run comes home. Did they get it right? Yes. Was the spirit of the game violated? In my opinion, yes. The guy should have reached out there, and they all can do it. Every one of them can do it. Should have just reached out there and touched that ball, fouled it off.
And the players are getting lazy now. The other day, there was a pitch that was clearly a strike. Catcher called for it to be reviewed. And I don't know if they were just buying time for somebody or if the catcher just completely closed his eyes and dozed off for the second that pitch came through the strike zone. But it was not overturned. I don't know. It's just it was pretty obvious early in the season. Now the players, I think they're doing it. I don't know why they're doing it.
They've effectively stretched the strike zone by 5 inches each direction, because if the ball, any part of the ball, touches any part of the box, it's now a strike. So you could get a pitch that's low and away, and if it hits the bottom of this rectangle way down here, if it just barely touches it, they're going to call that a strike if they overturn it. John Anderson asked, will there ever be another league like the USFL that can compete with the NFL? Compete's the key word. The answer is no. The NFL has a global lock on American football. There's no way to compete with a machine that big. That's like me and you starting an oil company to compete with Exxon. It ain't going to happen. And not to mention the fact that the government gives them all kinds of antitrust breaks and stuff that you can't get just by beginning a league. So, Andrew Alvarez, who's legally blind, says, I'm thinking about going into Major League umpiring. I'll be just as good as the rest of them. I don't disagree, sir.
So right now, the overturn rate is 53% with the automated ball strikes.
So they're right about half the time on the calls that they choose to review. It is interesting to me. You want to talk about how good Major League hitters are?
But because they can watch that now, the called ball strikes accuracy is about 90%.
It's gone way up. Gone way up.
I mean, think about it. I mean,
you got to figure that 10%. An umpire would consider an umpiring perfect game, or the equivalent at least of a no-hitter, would be if you didn't get overturned once during the game. I think that's probably a good goal for an umpire. They challenged me 2 times on each team, and I was correct all 4 times. That would be a source of pride. Do you know what is the most common event? 75% of the time. So let's talk about the things that can happen. On a 3-2 pitch, a guy could swing and miss. A guy could hit the ball. A guy could foul the ball. A guy could get a walk.
A guy could get hit by pitch.
He could get a hit by pitch. A guy could get a hit. I think there's like 7 or 8 ways to reach first base. Do you know what happens 75% of the time on the pitch after the count goes full? 75%, 3 out of every 4 times when the umpire goes full count, 3-2, we're all locked up. 75% of the time in the major leagues, the next pitch is fouled off.
Really?
75%. That leaves only, out of all the at-bats in baseball, that 25% of the time, a guy either swings and misses, gets hit by a pitch, gets a hit, whatever. Wow. That's only 25% of the time. That's how good of hitters they are. They're thinking fastball. He throws the slider. I'll just tap it over.
Not so good at judging the strike zone, though, batters. They're
right.
Their success rate for challenges 47%.
The most accurate challenger has been the catcher.
Yeah. So, similar stat, a leadoff walk will score like 80% of the time.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Yeah. The most important pitch in baseball is strike one. Yep. Changes the whole at bat.
So anyway, that's your First State Bank.
And thank you, First State Bank of Louise, the friendliest bank anywhere. Get in, free checking, free savings. They've got a little gift for you if you sign up. Yeah.
Oh, what else is happening? Going
Ken
on?
Paxton went to Washington.
Yeah. Governor Abbott, Texas Veterans Commission, announcing $41 million in grants to support veterans and their families. 190 grants will be distributed to 160 organizations statewide.
So in Dallas, marine artist Wyland filed a $25 million lawsuit against FIFA. Anyway, FIFA. And property owners over his iconic whale mural that was painted over last month to prepare the wall for World Cup advertising. So if I buy a Rembrandt, I'm just being hypothetical, arguably a priceless painting, and I bring it home and I own it, and I decide to paint it white because I want my granddaughter to have a new canvas to paint on. Sue me?
The mural has been there since 1999, apparently.
Okay. So it's now 27 years old, probably fading a little bit.
I've been to Dallas several times. I never knew anything about this mural.
Okay. That right there sums it. It's called Ocean Life. What does it say?
Life-size whales.
Approximately 17,000 square foot mural on the side of a downtown Dallas building. Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah. When recognizing public artwork, a long-standing conservation message, and a familiar Dallas landmark can all be erased without warning because someone else wanted the wall for another purpose. When that happens, something is wrong, Weiland said. The people of Dallas lived with this mural. They drove past it, photographed it, remembered it, and made it a part of the city's identity. Standing up for that is a responsibility. The mural is gone, but the message does not have to be. So although I got $10,000 to paint it in 1999, I want $25 million from FIFA.
Because the guy who owns the building, I guess, no longer has a right to do whatever he wants with that building.
Yeah, the guy who owns the building said, "Hey, FIFA, give me $5 million and you can paint on my building."
Yeah,
that's what's happening there. The World Cup coming to North Texas is probably bigger than whales in North Texas.
The company that owns the building said they were approached by downtown Dallas and the North Texas FIFA World Cup organizing committee
to donate the wall space
to donate the wall space to them for a new public art installation by a local Dallas artist. My guess is Weiland is not the local artist.
Yeah. Says they were not compensated for use of the wall. I think they were dumb. I'm just saying. You're going to paint over art. That's dumb.
Yeah. So much money FIFA has and the World Cup has. Yeah. If you're going to use it for advertising the World Cup, why wouldn't you turn it into a billboard and monetize it? Dumb. Mr. Weiland was not notified that the use of the wall was going to be changed.
By the way, Mr. Weiland has no financial interest in the building or the mural. Goes on and says, this should have been an opportunity to show the world that global sports, public art, and environmental stewardship can stand together. Instead, a landmark was painted over. We want to do our part to make sure that what happened here does not become the standard for how public art is treated across cities in America.
Is it truly public art when it's painted on the side of a private building? Sure, everybody can see it, but it's not on a government-owned building.
He wants actual damages of no less than $25 million, along with attorney's fees and other relief.
Some lawyer talked to him.
Yeah. Brian Small says, we've got enough whales in Dallas.
There's sort of the irony, isn't it?
Sexist. That's sexist.
You got a humpback whale looking like Pacific Life ad on the side of the building in Dallas, and there's not a whale to be found.
Right.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
None, John Anderson. There's no limit to the number of foul balls a batter can hit before being taken under the batter's ball.
True story. I have two baseball stories for you that are both just human interest stories. The great center fielder Joe DiMaggio, a man who was described as he never made any tough plays because from the sound of the ball coming off the bat, Joe DiMaggio would run to a spot. He would run to a spot and was famous for just standing underneath and catching the ball. Every play was routine because Joe DiMaggio personified playing defense with your feet. Get to where the ball is going to be and wait for it. He had been out during his 57-game hitting streak. The longest recorded major league hitting streak. Joe DiMaggio had been out with a bone spur in his heel. Nowadays, you go in the morning, they scope it, they shoot you with some Novocaine, and you're a little club-footed, but you play center field that evening. Back then, that was not the case.
Or they put you on the IL for 15 days.
It's like your Ferrari had a sticker
with
burn.
A lower bladder injury.
So he's been on the shelf for a while, and he goes up with his streak still intact. It wasn't a consecutive games streak. It was consecutive games with a hit streak. And Joe DiMaggio fouled off 19 balls. And the manager at first was like, oh, man, Joe's timing is terrible. His timing is terrible. Until they noticed that the ball started creeping back towards the infield. And the manager said, my goodness, he's taking batting practice. He was. And DiMaggio doubled into left center in his first at-bat back on the diamond. These guys are, in the words of Dusty Baker, professional hitters.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a day of some renown to those of us that are baseball aficionados. June 2nd. Do you know what June 2nd, 1925 is? 25 would be the key clue.
Of the year the Bambino was sold to the Yankees.
June 2nd, 1925, a gentleman named Wally Pipp. Wally Pipp was a lifetime 290 hitter, one of the most prolific power hitters of the dead ball era. He had 90 home runs and 1,004 RBIs. And Wally Pipp was the starting first baseman for the New York Yankees. On that day, Wally Pipp, long entrenched as the Yankees starter and well known as a great player, had a headache. He told his manager, Coach, I just don't think I can go today. I've got a headache. On that day, a totally unknown young gentleman named Lou Gehrig was inserted in the lineup. And for 15 straight years, he never missed a game. Nope. 2,130. Thank you, Patrick. 56 game. 2,130 straight games Lou Gehrig played. There's a lesson there. Show up for work, whether your head hurts or not. And when some other guy loses his job for something as minuscule as a headache, just keep pressing on. Lou Gehrig, of course, he was stricken from the beginning. He got Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
No, ALS, terrible, insidious, slow, painful death befell Lou Gehrig. He was so popular and so well known that rather than try to learn ALS, Americans just changed the name to Lou Gehrig's disease.
Absolutely.
One of the absolute great gentlemen and one of the great just mountain of a man stories of Major League Baseball. 2,130 straight games. Saw an opportunity, was given an opportunity, preparation and opportunity came together, and legend was born.
Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals staying an injunction that allows Senate Bill 2420, which requires basically age verification for minors to try to download apps on phones or when making any in-app purchases. Australia has tried this. The struggle they've had, enforcement. Attorney General Ken Paxton appealed the December injunction, and the Fifth Circuit stays temporary pending an appeal. All the tech companies plan to appeal and say it's unconstitutional under the First Amendment.
The key statement is tech industry groups are challenging the law's constitutionality under the First Amendment. They didn't police themselves. Somebody comes in and polices them, and they cry foul because they want to addict your child to the device. They want to create games that allow them to pump your kid full of advertisements.
Yeah.
The games are free if you're willing to watch the ads.
Interesting story, and we won't get to it today, but the Epic Times has a story about how social media use fuels the epidemic of anxiety and over-medication amongst teenagers.
I believe it.
Just kind of goes hand in hand with that one. And
today's quote by Albert Einstein: "The effort to strive for truth has to precede all other efforts."
And then this one, I think, finally, Texas now mandates English-only written exams for a commercial's driver's license.
Good. Why should I give a driver's exam in some Asian dialect or in Spanish for that matter? If you can't speak English, can I be certain that you can read? What if you're driving down the road and the sign on the right side of the road says, merge ahead, slow down, and all I see is a bunch of letters? How is that guy piloting a 55-ton truck?
CDL and learner permit knowledge tests are now English only. The hands-on driving test has always been English only, so it doesn't do anything for that. DPS also reinstating non-domiciled CDLs for H-2A workers. Eligible workers with current licenses will be able to use them until they expire. These are agricultural workers. Any whose credentials expire will have to file to have their credentials renewed.
It's consistent with the Constitution. Come here, learn the language, assimilate, become an American.
Well, and I think what's happening is when you look to the 51st state in Canada and you see the problems that are going on there with truckers and drivers who don't have any grasp of the language at all, and they're wreaking havoc and killing people on the streets and highways of Canada, it's a preemptive strike to keep that from happening here.
That's right.
And when you see what's happening in Florida and California with the number of East Indian truckers that are circumventing laws and causing danger and killing people and accidents on the highways,
100%.
And when all the trucks through Texas, absolutely.
Scott Tomko operating as Commander Cody today. We'll call him as a sidekick, Tonto Tomko. AI in the modern MLB era, the record for most foul balls in a single at-bat is 16, set by Giants first baseman Brandon Belt, April 22nd, 2018. How about
DiMaggio
that?
didn't foul off 19
No,
balls.
he wasn't playing in the modern era. Thank you for your clarification.
I thought he was.
No.
Let's see what else there's. Anything else? Oh, on this day, speaking of baseball, it was on this day in 1888, the Casey of the Bat. The famed baseball poem was penned by Ernest Lawrence Thayer and first published in the San Francisco Daily Examiner. There you go.
Final line, but there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Wait, a little fish in Texas and Mexico has thrived for 100,000 years without a single male in sight, cloning itself generation after generation. Scientists thought the all-female Amazon Molly should have died out ages ago, but she's still swimming along just fine, as we explain in today's science section.
This is on the flyover if you ever want to see where that is.
God is amazing.
I guess it's like seahorses.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, Scott Tucker says, I try to be like Cody with way less brain power. There you go.
Yeah.
Champions Gym is no longer open.
Cody Bowen asks if he gets an assistant. No.
Cody, you don't get an assistant.
Keep it
we
up, you'll
need
be
an
replaced.
Assistant. Yeah.
Hey, we're out of here, folks. Top of the hour. Church bells are ringing.
No Pride Night in Mudville. We owe some sponsors again, it seems. Folks, tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Post Call to Wednesday, Thursday, and we will be here. Love you guys. Have a great day. Be safe on the roads. Hey, tomorrow, 11 a.m., Bob Constantine's funeral. And Friday night, the Beach Boys, one of the very, very few endorsed Beach Boys
tribute bands
will be in Inez. Plan to come to that. It's fun. Dawn
Tickets
and I'll
are still
be there.
available.
Ash will be there. Lots
Tables
of
are still available.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me get to the
As you
information.
scroll.
I got it here somewhere.
Bonus time for Facebook watchers.
Maybe I don't.
But plan on Friday night at
Inez
Community Center. And it's a great venue, and the band it's just a fun event. I don't know how to tell you. It's not life-changing. It's just fun, and they're good. We'll see you there, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.